In this section of the video we're going into the fun-packed world of shimming the LT77S. Same things applies to all LT77s really. Stick around if you want to see how it's done. Right, thoroughly refreshed after a nice cup of tea. We're about to put the cover on here. Now, things to remember, there is a bolt in the back of here holding this to the top. Now the beauty about the LT77 is that the shimming is done from this end, not the bottom end like the R380, which means we can permanently fit the cover now everything's in place. Oh, by the way, remember I was looking for this little grub screw in here. I had to drill it out. In fact, I'm going to have a look for it later because I think I threw the bloody thing out. A replacement grub screw for the detent, £71 from Land Rover. A little bit beyond my budget. So I might pass on that and think about doing something different. Yeah, so we can put the cover on, flip it upside down, and well, sort of flip it upside down in a minute, and then we can calculate the shims, but we do it from the other side. You'll watch this, you'll get it. So one thing to make sure when you got your case in, this is where the reverse goes in, but right down at the bottom, I don't know if you can see down, is it here? I'm back. Oh, there we are. You see there, just there, there's a little scoop that holds oil. Make sure that's in, because otherwise your bearings at the front can run dry. Also, if you've ever been sandblasting, the top shaft where the shaft goes in at the top, just make sure that is really clean. Not nearly clean, but really clean, because if you get sand in there, or beads or anything like that, it'll grind up and down on this shaft here. That's not fun. Well, it depends what turns you're on. Right, so we're going to put some sealer on here. We've lubed up as much as we can. We'll just do a little bit more on this shaft here because I forgot to do that one. Put some on that one, around this linkage here. But again, we don't want to get any oil on that bit. There we go, get on there. A nice even bead, whoops, all the way around the inside. Here, because this isn't going to come off anymore. The famous last word. Hope I can squeeze enough out of this tube. This bead is a little bit thick actually. Look at that, you think it was CNC, wouldn't you? Look at that. Oops, not done there. There we go. Now, let's get this right. There we go. God save the king. There we go. Easy as that, eh? Now, this is why it's essential to have your dowels all free moving. That's it. Well, so I'm going to just put some bolts in the bottom of here, around here. It's a good job we've got two cameras on because I can now flip backwards and forward. I'm going to put some bolts in, tighten that down because that bit's finished. Now, why we do it like that is that we're not ready to do the other side yet, because we're going to just temporarily put the cover on here without any sealer, so we can flip it upside down with the old shims in, and then we can measure how the shims need to be. Now remember, on this, these are used bearings. They're good bearings, but they're used bearings. so therefore it doesn't need a great deal of preload. It should be about 0. Let's get on with that. Right, I'm going to put the old bearing races in the top. If you can see down here, I don't know if you can see on this one, you can see the sealer, how it's come out of there. Looks quite nice white, isn't it? Contrasting. There we go. This is a kind of a tight setup. Now I've put a new seal in the bottom of here, in the what's it called, seal thing, the input seal. The old one was alright actually, there's nothing wrong with it. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get a little bit of grease. Use my favourite Vaseline. There's not much there. The boys must have been around. Yes. So we'll put pop the shim in here, the original shim. There's one in. I'll put a bit more on. We don't want it dropping out, but we're not going to put any sealer on this yet. There's one in. Where's the other one? Here. Give it a clean off. Now we'll put some bolts in and then turn it upside down. Don't need any Vaseline on that one. There we go. Now I'm going to clean up the bolts because I forgot to do them, and then we'll tighten that down and flip it round. Right, we'll just give these a quick nip down, but remember there's no sealer on here. That's interesting. There was a bit of play on there before, isn't there? Oh, that's right, because I didn't put a gasket in. Ooh. Hey, maybe we'll be quids in, maybe the other side will be alright. No. Right. So the main shaft feels great. There's nothing on that one. I like that. But the lay shaft is a bit sort of that I can stand on and get some height on this and then gradually turn it around. This one I like. There's the plate. Look, you see the plate there on the on the top there? Yeah, we're going to leave that in for now, I think. What we'll do now is we'll measure this height off here. We're going to do that by just sort of dropping the gear on. Use the old nut. See what I mean? If it's not tight, but this one here, that doesn't need anything, and it's not too tight either. It's just nice. I like that. Doesn't take much to satisfy me. Right. Let's get set up with that. Whenever you get old ball bearings, the likes of these here, they're all sort of knackered up. I cut them up for two reasons. One, the balls are really handy because that can just sit in there, comme ça, and also they make excellent rings. If you cut them with a slitting disc, you've got two rings here that you can push new bearings back on with, because they'll flex. So if you're pushing that into a housing, it's got a split in it, this, you can use that to push a bearing in and then it's easy to pull out. Thought I'd tell you that. That was a freebie. Right, oh, I'm the wrong way around. I can't see. I can't breathe. Let's put it there. Right. Now, obviously, I can see this, but you can't. It's not a secret. But I've got it, I'll zero it in. So it's 0 now, 0 hour. $57. Let that 0 down a bit again. Get it down to 0. I think, you know, I might just tighten that nut up a little bit. 0. $57. So we've got to add 0.57. Actually, it's showing 0.58 now. To 0. 6.3 this time. Funny things, aren't there? Keep turning it around. I'll show you. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can see on that screen. Let's try it once more. 60. I'll tell you what. Seeing with no expense spared, let's try it with 2 screwdrivers. Not 1, 2. $6.5. 0. 6.4. Either 6.4 or 6.5. 0.64, 0.65. Now, if we were clever buggers, we could actually take that out from underneath and re-shim it. I'm not going to, like I say, I'm not going to touch this one. This one's lovely. I'll leave that well alone. So, look, it's oh bloody hell, it's 20 past closing time for the Jameson's shop, so I better depart toot sweet, otherwise they'll be shut.